I always had this dream to own a home. And at 27, I finally achieved this goal. But I also found myself shortly thereafter in huge, crushing debt.
You had no money saved on the side by the time you acquired the house.
Yeah, no, I had nothing. It was the absolute worst case scenario that I could have imagined.
My name is Romain, and for the past 10 years, I've been on a quest to tackle America's toughest personal finance situations. Leveraging my Ivy League master degree and personal experience, I've found solutions for what seems impossible. In 1 year, you can completely be in a different spot. Are we ready to take action?
Yes.
Will this be the one I cannot solve? Let's see what happens.
I felt like I would never achieve this goal just working minimum wage jobs, You're not going to own a house working minimum wage, most likely.
I mean, in the current environment, it's proven to be challenging.
Yeah, it's harder and harder every year.
Exactly, with the price of real estate. Except if you live in some of very affordable, kind of areas in the United States. Otherwise, I mean, the cost of real estate keeps increasing year over year. So what did you do?
Well, I decided that, living at my parents' house, it wasn't going to work out long term. Can't stay at home forever. My parents were on the edge of a divorce, so it was not a great environment to be in the first place. So I decided that I was going to live the good old-fashioned American dream, and I was going to sell all my stuff and move across the country to a new place and work my way up and buy that home.
And that's what you did.
That's what I did. I sold my car. I quit my job. I was working 2 jobs at the time. I quit both of them. I moved to Florida with like $4,000 in my pocket. I got a little converted garage apartment that I shared with some rats and cockroaches,
Yeah. Okay.
I got like 3 jobs. I was a realtor. I was bussing tables at a restaurant on the side, and I was working in data entry at a law office. The real estate and the law office ended up not working out for me. Like I said, I live a chaotic lifestyle, and that's just too much desk work for me. So I stuck with the restaurant. I loved it. It was exciting, and there was opportunity for advancement. I worked my way up in that restaurant, to a better job. Went to a better restaurant after that. Worked my way up there. Went to a better restaurant after that. Worked my way up there. And in 2 years of moving to Florida with, nothing in my pockets, I was making about $80,000 a year bartending at a fine dining restaurant.
No way.
Yeah, it was great,
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
And now with that money, what did you end up doing?
Well, I had a little bit of a slip up. I did spend, I bought myself a new car. As a little reward to myself, which in retrospect came back to bite me a little bit.
Yeah, that's right. We'll be speaking on this.
We'll get around to that.
Yeah.
But I put most of it into savings. I was very careful with my money. My apartment was nice, but nothing flashy. I lived with a roommate. Within a year of that final promotion to become a bartender, I had put aside $13,000 into my savings account.
$13,000?
Yeah.
Okay.
I had a couple $1,000s in stocks, that I had set aside for diversity,
That's fair. There's no little amounts. That's good. Diversification was key. Okay.
So I decided to pull the trigger and buy this house that I've been looking for months. I finally found one that I liked, a bit of a fixer-upper, but just within my budget. A dream come true, finally.
Was it though?
Oh, it felt like it for a minute there. But I touched my dream, and then it just came crashing down.
Ooh, tell me more.
So a couple of months before, I had just signed all my papers for my loan for this home.
Yeah.
And my roommate, I had planned to take him with me to the new place, informed me that actually, in fact, he was not going to be moving with me, and he would be moving out the following month. So I had factored in a couple $1,000s of rent over the next few months while I closed on the house. So I lost that. That set me back. I was able to borrow some money from my mother to make that deal go through. But it just took every penny of my savings, and I had to liquidate all my stocks, everything. Ooh. I even sold some furniture, to get those last few dollars,
Oh, gosh. Okay.
So then I found myself living in this, big empty house in need of lots of repairs. We were heading into summertime, and
Summertime in Florida for the season. Holy smokes!
Yeah, that's our low season. So my income was down. Unfortunately, as a bartender, my income fluctuates quite a bit over the course of the year. So my income was down. I didn't have this rent and shared utilities that I had been counting on when I was making my financial plans. And then things started breaking left and right in this place. First, my air conditioner went out. It cost me like $1,500 to fix. Then I had to get the house tented because I had termites and carpenter ants move in at the same time. Not the tenants I was looking for.
Termites? Have you done a termite inspection before buying the house?
Before buying the house, yes. And they said that, unfortunately, summertime is also termite season. So that's when they like to move in. It gets really wet outside. It gets rainy.
Scary.
They moved in. I had these carpenter ants that were chewing holes in my ceiling in my living room. So I had little chunks of the ceiling falling down on me.
What did you feel at the time?
Oh, it was the absolute worst case scenario that I could have imagined. Just all these unexpected expenses coming out of nowhere. I was barely making my monthly payments. My credit card debt started, racking up and racking up and racking up.
How much did you get on debt on this now? Because you had to pay for all of those repairs and everything.
Oh,
but
yeah.
you had no money saved on the side by the time you acquired the house.
Yeah, no, I had nothing.
So how much did you spend on that?
I wound up with $18,000 on my credit card by the end of the year.
When was that?
December of 2023.
We're looking like 8 months, not too far. I mean, the amount of stress, first house acquisition, fluctuating income, and then all the shit that comes through with all of that on top of all the additional expenses. Because when you had 13,000, you probably didn't put 20% down. So,
oh no.
So you have all the PMI insurance, you have the closing cost, you have the tax, you have,
Yeah.
How did you feel?
I just felt absolutely terrified because that's an enormous backslide. $18,000 in a year, it's like more than $1,000 a month just sliding back. And then there's this interest stacking up,
Oh, so you were trying to pay back your credit cards?
Yeah, trying to pay it back. And, I spent $1,000. I put $1,000 towards a payment. And then I get $450 charged in interest. And then I paid another $1,000. And then I'm set back another $400. And another, so even when I'm making more money in my busy season, I'm still...
You're still stuck into that
slow
loop.
progress. Like it will take years to pay that off at that point, at that pace.
So what did you do then?
I just rented out one of my spare bedrooms on Airbnb.
Nice.
I put all my bedroom furniture in there, and I just slept on the floor for a couple of months.
Wow.
Just really trying to make it happen. That only made me a few $100s a month, which is better than nothing.
Better than nothing.
But not where I need to be.
Did you inquire your parents at the time? You were like, hey, I'm kind of in a tough spot here, but I guess they were going through a divorce.
Yeah, so they're already facing these problems of their own. My mom, bless her heart, already helped me to buy the house, loaned me a little bit of the difference.
How much did she loan you?
She loaned me $10,000. I paid $5,000 back.
Oh, so you have the intention of paying her back?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I've still got, unfortunately, I've missed a few payments since then, but I've still got another $4,000 that I owe her.
Okay, we'll be including this in your debt. But sorry for interrupting. Mm-hmm. So you still owe money to your parents from helping you, but you didn't want to ask for them for more money at the time either?
No, my pride stood in the way, I think, a little bit. I had already asked for so much, and they'd already been so generous in helping me. So I didn't want to ask for more money. And at the time, I was terrified. I was thinking, well, what if this backslide is just, what if it continues? What if I can't catch back up to where I was? And, then I owe my parents even more money. And, what if I lose my house and I still owe money on my car? And, I was too afraid.
Everything was piling up.
Yeah, I didn't want to add more debt,
So what did you end up doing?
So luckily, I had a Christmas miracle, and one of my coworkers was looking for a new place to live. So I rented my Airbnb room out to him.
Nice.
Yeah.
Whew. Okay.
Yeah, so he's
moved in.
Oh yeah, he moves in January of this year. And I'm
breathe a little bit.
I can breathe. Yeah, my income is back up. January is a busy season,
That's right.
in South Florida. So I'm making more money at work. I've got $1,300 a month coming in rent. I've got half my utilities paid by my roommate. He has a really cute dog, so that's just great too.
Nice. But you still have that $18,000 that's over your head.
Yes.
What do you do with that? Because that was on credit card debt, crazy interest.
Yeah, credit card debt is awful. I never, until last year, I had never had more than
Bridging to the choir.
$1,000. Like I had never had any substantial interest. My interest was maybe $40 a month on a balance. So I tried to pay it off every week. Like I usually didn't even have a balance. I didn't realize how dangerous that could get.
So what did you do?
And how quickly. So I just I started paying as much as I can. It just felt like like I was saying, it felt like I was taking 2 steps forward and 1 step back. I would pay a big chunk and then it would come back in interest the following month. So I tried to do a balance transfer.
Very nice.
To a credit card. It's 0% interest for the first year, one of those.
That's a smooth move.
But unfortunately, because of my credit,
they see the debt ratio. And
my income. They're like, we're not giving you this. So I ended up taking out a personal loan.
Okay.
At like almost
better interest.
Yeah, better interest. Like it was like 12% interest as opposed to 25 or 30% interest. So
that's
much better. Yeah. And now my monthly payment on that debt is it's less than I was getting charged in interest every month alone. So that's progress there,
Okay.
But I'm still left with this huge balance.
And so right now, to me, you're presenting yourself as surviving. What prompts you to come to the show?
I have my pride, but I also have the self-awareness to recognize when I need some help. I could use some advice. If I go with my current plan, it's going to take me years and years to pay down this debt. And there are just other things that I want to do in my life than work to pay others.
And you don't want something to arise in your house, like a big repair again. Phew. And then it's another downfall. I mean, you're going up, but you're just fluctuating.
My income goes up and down every year. So I don't want to ever be caught in that situation again where I'm just barely scraping to get by, or even worse, backsliding and accumulating debt.
I already have ideas as to what we can do for your situation. We'll dive into this as we think about your recommendations. But now that you've told us such an interesting story and where you find yourself today, let's look together at the numbers, starting first with your income and your assets. So you're working as a bartender here, kind of living for the most part in Miami, but then living, it's not a snowbird, you're a sunburn. No, what is that? Sunbird. There you go. Living Miami because it's a dump during the summer, no one's there. You're here currently in California. How do you afford to live in California during the summer though?
In California, luckily, I have a great network of family here in California.
That's right. You
love me very much.
True.
Yeah.
Okay, so living kind of the free lifestyle and for you to be able to get some money around. But overall, when we look at your income, if we were to say per year, on average, with bartending, how much do you make?
Currently, on average, I'm making about $75,000 to $80,000 a year.
Okay, nice. So that's about 4,670 or so per month net on this. Do you have any other source of income?
Other sources of income, I have my roommate who pays
That's right.
me, he pays me rent. He pays half the utilities that we share.
That's good. How much does he pay you?
He pays me $1,300 a month in rent.
Okay. Excellent. So that brings together your total income to about $6,000 per month. Mm-hmm. Not too bad.
On average.
When we compare that in United States for your age bracket between 25 and 34, the median, 50% make more, 50% make less, is $50,700. You're at $80,000. Generally, Florida doesn't have income tax. Mm-hmm. In a decently affordable area, you're not in New York, you're not in Seattle, you're not living in LA. But not a bad spot to be in, okay? Let's look at some of your assets. So what is very nice is our friend here provided me with 10 pages or so of accounts. And, that is very good because that gives me excellent clarity of where you find yourself. So we'll start first with your checking account. You currently have a balance of $2,325. You just recently got paid, so that's good. Mm-hmm. That's the only checking you have, right?
Yes.
Okay. You also have a saving account with a balance of $1,759.
Yeah.
You have any other liquidity?
No. I liquidated all my investments when I purchased the house.
What about an emergency fund?
Emergency fund? That's my savings account.
$1,000 on the crazy house? That's okay. I mean, the problem is you also have a lot of expensive debt, so I understand why you're not really cash heavy. But, my friend, congratulations, you are a house owner. And looking upon the value of the house for the address that we'll not give in the video, but we looked on it on Zillow and across different platforms. It's valued at $426,000.
Not bad.
Not bad.
More than I paid for it.
More than I paid for. We'll see. Still have quite a bit of mortgage on it, but you are positive. You have equity on that house. Congratulations to you.
Thank you.
And you also have a car.
Yes.
Now, what do you drive?
I drive a 2018 Honda Accord.
How many miles?
130,000 approximately.
The value on that car is 14,700. But you have debt on that car, 16,470.
Little underwater there, yeah.
Yeah, what happened on this, my friend? Why did you buy yourself I would say on the Accord, a smart move. But what the hell? How the hell are you upside down? You bought this, when did you buy this? I see you bought this in 2021. The interest rate on this is 4.5%. But how do you explain yourself that you're upside down on this? Have you been making the payments on it?
I have been making the payments.
So you must have been scammed when you bought it. You bought it at a crazy price. How much did you buy it for?
I try not to think about it.
How much was it?
I think it was somewhere between 25 or 27, somewhere
you
in there.
bought it in 2021 when used cars were at peak.
Yeah, it was not a good time to buy a new car.
Ugh. Okay, all right. We'll be speaking about this. What can we do if you're upside down on your car? Let's think about this. Any other form of assets?
For assets,
That's it?
that's it.
Okay. So together at 27 years old, that brings your total asset at $444,784. Which is not bad. $500,000.
Yeah.
But my friend, this is not net worth, huh?
No.
We wish.
Unfortunately.
We wish.
Someday.
Someday. And because that brings us into your expenses and your debt. Let's start first with the number one, housing. And I'm going to ask you your mortgage. How much do you still owe to the bank?
To the bank, I owe $365,000.
Okay. What's your interest rate?
It's about 6.4%.
Okay. And you bought this house, I see from pretty much Zillow's. You bought it at $390,000.
Yes.
Okay. So I can see what happened here. You took a 29-year mortgage.
Yes.
Okay. Your monthly payment on that mortgage is about $2,300.
Yes.
But because you bought it with, 3%, 5%? What did you put down?
Less than 5. Yeah.
FYI, right now, if you don't have a high down payment, I would generally always recommend 20%. You know, that's kind of a rule of, because when you put 20%, you're back against the wall with no equity. If you were to have something happen to your job where you have a little bit of equity in your house that you've prepared beforehand, but Fannie Mae 5% down for first home buyers, to me, I really like it. You put 3%. That comes with PMI. How much is that?
Yeah, the insurance on the mortgage is another $200 a month.
Let's go. And, ladies and gentlemen, we also have taxes.
Yeah.
So when you buy a house, it's not just about the mortgage. How much are you spending on taxes per month?
$600.
Okay. Any other form of expenses related to that house on a monthly basis?
I also have homeowner's insurance.
Right.
The homeowner's insurance is another $500.
Oh.
Yeah. Hurricanes, you know.
That's right. Holy smokes. So you're looking at around $3,550 on that house per month. Okay. That is 59% of your income. We like it to be below 28.
I would like that too.
Yeah. I mean, look, so far right now, in terms of equity in your house, if you were to sell your house at the market value right now, you're at a positive 61,000. You've been a little bit of equity in a year, my friend. Not bad, huh?
Yeah, not bad.
But it is an expensive piece of real estate that you have. I'm glad that you are doing a concept referred to as house hacking. You know, you can buy a duplex and then you rent the other side. You can buy a pretty big house, 3-bedroom, decent, and you rent something. But you're only renting one. Why are you not renting the other?
Well, I may have mentioned, but the house was a fixer-upper when I bought it.
Okay.
It had been slumlorded for about 20 years, so it was run down. Like, there's a couple spots where, you poke a wall and it just kind of falls off. So my second bedroom is in pretty rough shape. It would need to almost be rebuilt.
How much do you estimate it would cost to rebuild it?
To rebuild it, I need to... New floor. I had a flood in my bathroom, which damaged the baseboards and part of one of the walls. So it needs new walls, new floors, new ceiling, new baseboards, new ceiling fan. Fix the closet.
5,000?
Probably, yeah.
Allez, let's do that. 5,000. Okay. So you have 3-bedroom. You're renting one. The other would cost about 5,000. Think about this. This could be a good. This could be a good thing. Let's think about this together. But again, I enjoy the fact that you are trying to turn your investment into an income-generating assets. So, good thoughts. Not everyone is willing to live with roommates, but in a way, guys, if you have that dream to go and afford a house at such a young age, this is not a bad strategy that you're doing. So I compliment you for doing that.
Thank you, Romain.
Hey guys, I have an announcement for the channel that might be relevant to many of you. Over the course of the past couple months, I've been receiving a lot of requests from people wanting to interact with me and maybe not wanting to come on the show. And so for a limited amount of time, I'm opening up my schedules for you guys to book consultations with me, speaking one-on-one. We only have limited spots as I don't know how long I'm going to be running this for. And so if this is something that you're interested, check out the link in the description below as you think about enhancing your situation or get strategies to better your finances. And now let's get back to our content. Now, let's look at another type of expense. The car loan. So you own 16,446. You are currently underwater on that car, 1,700.
Yeah. We're getting close to breaking even, but we're not there yet.
On 130,000 miles on the Accord. Now, those cars, what's nice about it is at least they can probably last you to 200.
Yeah.
How's it working? That car is working good?
It works good. It needs a few cosmetic repairs. Got a dent in the front bumper.
But engine-wise?
Engine-wise, it runs great.
You're going to run that car to the ground, you think? Like, you're probably thinking about keeping that for a while?
Possibly. At this point, I kind of starting to hate it a little bit.
Why?
Because it's so much money for every month for it.
$464 is your monthly payment on it.
Yeah, it's steep, and I don't feel like it's worth. It's not worth that much money per month to me.
No.
So.
No.
Could I run it into the ground? Probably. I'm sure it would work for a long time, but.
How much would it cost to repair?
To repair a new front bumper, really.
So 1,200?
Yeah, I probably need some new tires, so call it 15.
So you're minus $3,000 on this car.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let me think about this. Right now, when we think about your situation, my friend, a lot is going to be around timing of a certain budget. And I want to be able to prioritize it for something that's going to give you the greatest return. Because right now on your car, you have a 4.6% interest. If you were to try and get another car today, you would probably get at least 8 to 10% interest on it. So the only way for you to justify changing your car right now in the short term would be to buy cash. Mm-hmm. But my friend, you have $2,000 on your account.
I don't have cash.
You don't have cash. And maybe we could use your income for something different. We'll see. Now, looking at some of the rest of your expense on that transportation, $55 on gas. Insurance is about $150. Not too bad. You're young, no accidents. 11% of your income is what your transportation costs you. We like it to be below 15. Mm-hmm. For now, let's not touch it. It's working. It's working good. I want to prioritize your money somewhere else. Actually, as I'm looking into my... freaking crazy. As I'm looking into your mortgage right now, the calculation of it, You own $365,000. The total amount of money that you will spend on that mortgage by the time it completes, how much do you think that is?
Oh, for a mortgage, I think you wind up paying at least double, right?
$804,000.
Yeah.
$804,000 is what you're going to have to end up paying on a freaking mortgage.
Yeah.
All right, we'll be speaking about strategies to make this much faster without costing you more money. Looks like magic, right?
Yeah.
It's just mathematics. You will see. As I look into some of the rest of your expenses, credit cards. Okay, so you have some credit card debt. Here I see your latest balance is $2,345 on this.
Yes.
Let's look at some of your recent expenses. My dear friend, you enjoy fairly expensive supermarket. What's going on here?
Unfortunately, I have a gluten intolerance and I'm allergic to corn. In the American food system, there's flour and corn in literally everything.
Ooh.
So I have to be very careful about what I buy and the quality of food and the ingredients, and that usually ends up costing more.
Oh, corn in the United States. That's the jackpot. They put that shit everywhere.
Yeah.
It's not the most healthiest either. But as I look into your expenses yourself, a little bit of Trader Joe's, for the most part, you're spending your money pretty much on food and restaurants.
Yes.
Yeah. But you need to live. You're 27. I see some $57 restaurants. You went a little bit bold, especially last month. What happened last month that you decided to go more than the training months on your restaurant expenses? I see things like $42, $46. What happened?
I've become kind of a seasonal bartender, working the busy season in Miami. I'm trying to work the slow season in Miami, in California. So all of my friends, I told them all that I was leaving for a few months to go work across the country. So, of course, they all wanted to go out to dinner before I left.
Yeah, yes. At the 30% interest, my friend. So think about it for a second. Because you're stacking that money on a credit card debt, so you're paying the meal, you're paying the tax, you're paying the tip, you're paying 30% of interest. So the price of the item that you see on the menu at this point becomes freaking twice.
Yeah.
You're paying a $20 meal. At the end of the day, this shit costs you $40. And by the way, I have my opinion about the added taxes at restaurants, the 3.5% to support staff and all that BS. Do you have this at your bar?
Unfortunately, yes.
No, gosh. No way.
Ours is only 2%.
Gosh, why? Why do they not put this into the price of the menu? Like, why do you have to come with a pity party at the end with the check and say, oh, yes, sorry, we have 2%. Have the guy put this in the price of the items and don't put it to me back door, the tip, the service. Soon I'm going to have to pay electricity for the building.
Mm-hmm. No, that's my words exactly.
You feel the same way.
I agree, yes.
I contest on that. Mm-hmm. I'm the asshole that says, no, I put it in the tip.
This from my check.
I put it in the tip, though. But I just hate the way it's being formulated to me. Mm-hmm. What are we doing? That's crazy. Like I get pissed about this. Mm-hmm. Now let's not go to the extreme of France, where you have a $50 meal and you put a coin of $2. That's kind of what it is in France. It's just a tradition. Here I feel like everywhere I go now I have to tip. Mm-hmm. And I don't mind it when there's some form of service, like the bartending. There's a show, or there's
talking, and
But I'm coming to Starbucks. I guess maybe, but I'm coming to take out some food, and there is no interactions. They're like, hey, here's your food, and boom, and I'm expected to see 18, 20, 23% tip. Come on, like no, I'm my tipping is fair. I go by fairness, and I am going to start a Facebook group for the anti 3.5% add-on on health and medical things for workers at the bottom of tips. Just do it and put it in the price of the items.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm even the worst at this, because sometimes I get so frustrated by this that I don't visit the venue again. because I feel like I'm getting taken advantage of. But anyway, that's my personal take. I'm a little bit of an extreme on this one. It pissed me off. Okay, Stan's gone. We moved the door. Let's move on to some of the rest of your expenses. You enjoy Amazon. Everything is Amazon, Prime Video, Amazon, 50, 50, 25, 31, 32, Amazon channels, 10, 12. Well, I do enjoy Prime Video. I used to be working for them. That was kind and nice. I had some great fun. But why do you spend so much money on Amazon?
Amazon is where I go for all of my, laundry detergent.
Do you have a Costco card?
I do not have a Costco card.
Wait, hold on. Do you have a Costco in Florida?
We have one.
So what are you doing? Free money!
Costco, it's so far from my house.
Wait. Oh, gosh. How far is this?
It'd probably take me a 30-minute drive.
Yeah, but you need to make that trip once every 3 months.
Yeah.
And you probably, that's the way I think sometimes, guys, is very simple. How much am I making from not doing work-specific tasks? So, for example, going to Costco, you do it on a Monday or whatever, you have a little bit of time off, and you look at the rate that you're being paid for. You're probably saving at least $30 to $40 going to Costco rather and going to Amazon.
That much?
Yeah, if it takes you an hour, you just granted yourself a $40 an hour without having to do real work and just kind of chilling around Costco house. Now, don't get tempted by the samples because, Costco, they always get you. You're going there for a croissant and you're living with $150. I mean, I enjoy the $1.5 hot dog, though. I just recently discovered that and it was a hallelujah. I've been really liking it. Although it's not great for the diet, so don't everywhere. I mean, does it have corn, though?
Hot dogs?
Yeah.
I never looked, but I couldn't eat the bun, so what's the point?
Oh, yeah. So wait, what do you eat if you can't eat corn? I'm sorry, this is a sidetrack, but that's the number one ingredient in everything.
Oh, yeah. No, my diet is mostly, rice, beans, meat, vegetables. It's pretty much it. It's very, very simple.
How do you feel about it, though? You got used to it at this point?
It's frustrating, but I'll probably live longer because of it,
Hey, let's go. We should all be corn intolerant, I guess. I'm not putting it out there. I'm enjoying my allergy-free experience. I'm fortunate with that. Okay, sorry, guys. A little bit of changes here, but I see that, you're keeping your finances tight. Here I see that you're looking at the books of your roommate with the monthly payment. He pays on internet, cable, $223.
Oh, he pays all the cable. I don't pay for that. I think cable's a waste of money.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it sucks. Everything is available now either on replay or, I enjoy myself. I'm not going to lie. 1 or 2 subscription, the big ones, and I rotate. I like free trials.
Yeah. Yeah, I got Prime. I got HBO. That's it.
Okay. $223 of cable.
He's a simple guy. He likes to just hang out, flip channels, That's just what he loves.
That's his hobby. That's
hanging
his
out with his dog, flipping channels. And if he wants to pay $200 a month for
that's on him.
Go for it,
But I see, though, a $40 Best Buy debt. What is this shit?
We both went in together on a TV at Best Buy.
How much was the TV?
The TV was expensive. It was like $1,000.
Why didn't you guys buy it cash? Oh, I guess you don't have the cash, yeah.
I don't have the cash.
It's interest-free?
Yeah, interest-free. I paid my half up front and I was just done with it.
You're done on your side?
On my side, I'm done.
Yeah, but I see the debt is coming on you. Like, you're the one that's paying for it on a monthly basis.
Oh, he pays that monthly payment.
But what's going to happen when you guys are going to separate, when you guys are not in a relationship and he's just a roommate? What's going to happen?
Yeah, we plan on living together for a long time. He was in his last apartment for 10 years. So I'm hoping he's got 10 with me.
That's the perfect roommate.
Yeah, right? That's my favorite kind of roommate, is the one that sticks around.
That's right. And he's nice. Yeah. Everything good?
Oh, he's great. He's got a super cute dog. And, it's a great situation.
Okay. I like this. All right. Let's move to some of the rest of your debt. We are recording a $13,000, 888 personal loan. This was the debt consolidation that you did from your credit cards. Good move. Interest rate 12%, monthly payment $464, but that's better than the heck of what you were paying beforehand at 29% on your credit cards. So I applaud you for taking this move. But you know what I'm a little bit surprised is upon looking at your credit score, because you've been so nice to provide it to me, you have a credit score of I believe it was 761,
Yes.
which was really nice.
Yeah. When I consolidated that debt, it shot up like 50 points. It was great.
Interesting. and here I want to speak a little bit very quickly about the notion of kind of credit score. And people think, oh, I have more than 700, I should be approved for everything. Well, heck no. The score is literally a piece of paper. They're like, okay, 700, let me dive deeper. And what they probably did is they looked and they're like, oh, this guy is $14,000 in debt, $360,000 in mortgage, $16,000 in a car. He's underwater like no tomorrow. We're not going to grant that shit. Let him die. So that's really what happens. So a score is not always everything. Okay. It's more than just a number. It's everything behind. So you want to make sure you're putting yourself in a good spot. I mean, look, that was not such a bad move. So I will say yes. Let's move on. You also have a family loan to your mother, as you referred to previously, of $4,000. Does she charge you interest?
She does not.
That's nice.
Yes.
Have you been paying her back? Because I don't see any transactions in a recent month.
I have. I did a good job of paying her back. This summer, I have not done such a great job.
Okay.
We took a
it's
break.
Low season and so on. Is she okay with that?
Oh, yeah. She suggested it. She said, if you need to take a few months off during your slow season, that's okay with me. And I said, thank you.
Okay, all right. Well, account for that as long as your relationship is not being impacted by that. Be careful, guys, when it comes to finances with family and friends. It's a very fine line. As long as you respect the agreement and both parties are in approval, I like it. But otherwise, it breaks friendship and it breaks families. I myself had the experience of giving away money or loaning money to two friends. And guess how many have paid me back? Zero. Let's go. It's the story of everyone. So I've learned my lesson the hard way. That brings your total debt at 27 years old today at a whooping 1,703.
Ooh.
Okay, so you're playing the game, my friend. You're in the middle of the personal finance game in the United States. I love that you're playing it decently. You know, you're being frugal for the most part. I'm not seeing crazy expenses on your hobbies, a little bit of gardening and so on. But here I see in your budget that you qualified house improvement. It's good.
Yeah.
That brings your current net worth at $43,081.
Not terrible, you know?
Not terrible. You're positive, my friend. You're positive.
5 years ago, my net worth was probably $1,000. So
Exactly.
I'll take it, you know?
Exactly. And when you think about the bringing you into a kind of a fun fact here, I pulled it for the age bracket between under 35 years old, the median net worth is $14,000.
Only 14.
Yeah, people are stacking them on crazy debt.
Oh.
Especially as you think about student loans.
Yeah.
All right. Now, ladies and gentlemen, comes a bunch of juicy recommendations for you because there are so many tweaks that you can make when finding yourself in this situation. But first, let's move to our next segment, which looks at the money case. All right, guys, and now we are back for the money case segment, and I'm about to share with you an insight that nobody knows about. Somehow, I don't know why nobody is paying attention to this, but it's an amazing mindset, an amazing mathematics strategy for you to contribute towards paying your mortgage much faster. And this, to you, my friend, without even realizing, is going to allow you to save over $120,000 on your mortgage over time.
All right.
And you're going to tell me, Romain, how do I pull this magic? Well, the whole thing behind it is simple. Instead of paying on a monthly basis, you pay half of the monthly rate on a bi-weekly basis. That is going to force you to make 26 payments.
Okay.
Or 13 monthly payments without even realizing it. This, my friend, is going to reduce the time of your mortgage up to 5 years.
Okay.
5 years. You just change, and your mortgage no longer becomes a monthly debt, but a bi-weekly one, and that is going to allow you to save hundreds of thousands of dollars from doing that.
All right, sign me up.
Now, this was just the first part, my friend, of our money case. The other things that I want to speak to you about is today, right now, that's just, I think it's fair in a way, but you are living on a table per year, $12,000. Why? Well, that is because you're not renting a second room.
Mm-hmm.
When we think from a mathematical calculation, and that's any type of investment, you have to come in first with the mathematics. So I'm just going to here present you a fun case study. Okay? If, let's say, the $5,000 for you that you need to invest into renovating that room was invested into like an emergency fund, that will give you 5% per year. So you're looking at $250. Okay.
Something's better than nothing.
Nothing matters. If you invested into the stock market, okay, you would be making $500 because it's about a 10% return. If, ladies and gentlemen, you invested into renovating that room, you would be making $12,000 from it. That's a
much better.
220% investment. But what you're going to tell me, Romain, is, okay, you're giving me good stories, awesome. How do I pull the money from? Where does that come from? So now we are going into what I refer to as risky territories. It's a gamble.
Yeah.
So what we would be doing is right now, what you have at a young age, I'm taking risks by telling you this because this can flip on you. But I feel like you can manage it. What I mean by that is we are going to, what we do is leverage the equity that you have in your house to invest it to become an income source. So when we think about the equity that you have in your house, we calculate it to be what right now? So you're going to have your house appraised again, which is going to be much greater than what you bought it for. You have about $61,000 of equity on that house, if not more, because you've made some home improvements. $61,000 right now is just not being leveraged in any way. You just have it, but it's not being leveraged. What if we could go at it for you to convert it into this income generation, which is renting a second room? And on top of that, potentially helping with some of the very expensive debt that you have right now. Let's look at this together as we think about working on the specifics of your strategy in our next section. What would I do? As always, now that I'm putting myself into the seat of Bryson, the emotions, everything. What would I do in your shoes right now? Well, I'm going to tell you straight away. Right now, you need to make the $80,000 per year plus the $1,300 or so of income that you're getting from your roommate to break even.
Yes.
You're saving, on my math, $52 per month right now. And I'm being nice because I didn't account for all of the Amazon Prime. So you're buying 2 shampoos and a laundry detergent because you're lazy and you don't want to go to Costco. You're screwed. Fun fact apart, right now your needs, my friend, sum to $5,740 every month to live. You need to bring in $5,740. It's pretty significant. A very large portion of which is the house, $3,550. That is 96% of your income. 96. We want it to be below than 50. Now. A large majority of which is going towards an investment that is appreciating in value. So it's kind of a forced saving mechanism that you have in place. So I'm not too outrageous, but what that means though is you're missing on a month, you have to catch up the previous month. You have zero legway. As I think about your wants, this is money that you can spend having fun around with your friends and so on. I don't want to restrict it too much because you're 27. I don't want to give you zero, although you should be at zero. But I'm going to leave it to $100. Okay. This is money to have fun around and just, eat a green salad and leave the 3.5% for medical tip to the... In your gold, this is the remaining category, $127. So you have nothing. You're not saving a dime. So what do we do? Okay? I'm going to tell you step by step. Right now, you are in California on a free roll. Your house is not being leveraged as an income-generating asset because you have a little bit of repair to do. Now, I'm not going to put it against you because you bought the house just a couple months ago and you had to figure out that shit out.
Yeah.
But let me tell you, I better hear you next year that your room is ready to rent. Today, I need you while you are in California to get your credit card debt under control.
Yes.
So all the restaurants, all that shit right now, as we mentioned, is $100. I need to tackle this ASAP. Mm-hmm. On top of that, I would want, you're playing very fine line. You're playing a game right now. It's playing on a fine line, but it could be very beneficial if you pull it off. To leverage a little bit of that home equity to invest into your house, not only as a home improvement, which is going to raise the value of your house, but also as an income generator by renovating the second room. This is going to bring in the extra estimated $1,100 or so per month. You're now in positive. You're not just working and you have to pull off that income, otherwise you're underwater every month. Okay? So leverage that. And what is this is going to allow you is to change your payments to being bi-weekly. You're going to save yourself hundreds of thousands of dollars without even you realizing. And you are going to now target to have a break-even position on your house. Because you're doing the house hacking concept. You have one room at 13, one room at 11, and yourself as a renter at 11. So now, boom, right away, you break even on the house.
There we go. Yeah. I love it. Yes.
So you're generating equity without it costing you much money. That's jackpot. I need you to keep your car right now.
Yeah.
You're paying 4% on a depreciating asset. Okay, that's all that you still have tens of thousands of miles in front of you. If it was a Mercedes, a BMW, or any of those fancy cars that are become freaking droughts that keeps your pockets poor forever. No, I'm just joking. But when we think about those cars, an electronic is $5,000. Honda, they change a plug and it's done.
Oh yeah,
I like that.
Friends, my best friend had a BMW, and that's what happened. And I said I'm never buying one.
It's okay. It's okay if you have a lot of, if you're in a pretty good financial positions and so on. Yeah, go ahead. But I hear horror story. Stay to Japanese, stays to Asian cars. I do enjoy Ford as well for some of the car, although the Ford Fiesta focus on all the car. Anyway, let's not go to the specific. What I'm saying is, keep that car for now. You better leverage your money elsewhere.
Right.
In 2 years, you ditch that shit. You sell it. Probably you're going to be break even at that time because the car will continue to depreciate.
Yes.
And you go and buy yourself a $6,000, $7,000, maybe $10,000 car in cash. You are going as well, little by little, to start contributing toward retirement through a Roth IRA. I do enjoy that. And what you're going to do is potentially look for alternatives ways to insure your house, because that is a crazy payment that you have. I personally am going to encourage you to check out Lemonade. It's an insurance that potentially would be beneficial for you as you think about refinancing or reinsuring your house with better prices, okay? I really enjoy them. They do pet insurance, they do homeowner insurance, and they do renter's insurance. I have been using them for years. And what's going to happen is, little by little, I want you to maintain your regular payments on your personal loan. You're at 11%. I'm okay with that. Okay? It's shit. Okay? Generally, my rule of thumb is any loan that has an interest higher than 10%, you pay that shit before you invest. So we will need to tackle that. But you have 220% potential.
Yes.
Take a shot. Because it's not too expensive. You're not going into tens of thousands of dollars of debt. And a home equity line gives you that flexibility. And what's going to happen is now you're going to be paying your house much faster. You're going to no longer have high, expensive debt. You're going to have extra money to pay towards paying back your HELOC. You're going to have a break-even house. You're going to have a seasonal plan when you're not going there by incentivizing your roommate. Boom, boom, boom. That's it. The game is done.
I love it.
The game is done. You're going to have a profitable asset from taking risks at the time that were very risky. You know, going into a house and having zero is absolutely crazy. But I'm sure you were stressing at night in your bed when you had freaking termites and shit breaking down on your house. So you have gone through this. You know, I don't think if I could have personally handled that type of pressure myself, to be honest with you. So you've gone through this. You've gone through the toughest part of it. Now it's time to benefit a little bit from all of that. But it comes to the root at the end of the day. You need to make sure that you bring significant amount of money per month. So what you've done, you've created yourself your own retirement plans with this house, but you've put yourself into what I refer to as a golden prison.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is. Because you have to engage with so many forms of debt. Mm-hmm. You have myself today to bring in $6,000 per month to make it. That's not an easy job, huh?
No, not easy. Not easy.
But if you're able to pull it for a couple of years, you can find yourself with already tens of thousands of dollars of equity on your house and much more if you continue to invest into home improvement and so on. Mm-hmm. So you're playing on a very fine line. It's a risky. When I think about your risk meter, you're probably at an 80 out of 100. You're risky.
Yeah.
But if you get through that and you pull it, the reward are going to be worth it. You've already engaged into that risky environment. You need to continue playing those cards. You've already taken a step too far in this. Mm-hmm. It can give you amazing rewards. It's going to come with downfalls. I'm not going to lie. Always, we like, this is a perfect paper, but I'm sure there's going to be a lot of shit going on. But you've taken a step into that game. Now you have to commit.
Yeah, we're in it. Now we got to see it through, right?
We have to see it through. So leverage those possibilities, work on the timing across all of that. And on paper, mathematically, you're going to be all right. You had the dream of buying a house.
Yes.
Would you do it again?
Oh, it's tough. That's a tough question.
I'm sure if I asked you that earlier at the beginning of the year, you would have said, fuck no. Yeah. But today, now that you've reflected on it and you're passing that difficult door, you still have a lot to go through.
Yeah.
But would you do it again? Or would you have done anything different?
Would I have done anything different? Absolutely.
What would you have done?
Differently, I think I did not want to wait another year, I probably should have waited another year, but then the house would have cost even more. So I don't know that would have even, it's what if, right?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I think I stick to the decisions that I made. Now, knowing what I know now, if I had to do it again, I would still do it,
Wow.
Maybe a little differently, Maybe I would have found a roommate sooner. I would have not racked up that credit card debt, If I could go back in time, I would buy a cheaper car, and there are a million things that I would do differently.
But it's still worth the...
But the home long-term plan, the day-to-day of I have, a lovely place to live that I have full control over. I don't have to worry about, landlords not fixing things. And, at the end of the day, I do love where I am.
All right.
Yeah, now I feel like, before it was like I'm just kind of, working full steam ahead to kind of get nowhere, and now I feel like this work that I'm doing is going to get me somewhere. I'm going to reduce these debts, and I'm going to make, all these, I'm going to play this game and make it work and win. And
excellent.
I'm excited to see where I am a year from now.
Excellent. Well, this was an amazing story and an amazing, parkour. You have a lot to work on.
Yes.
But we'll make sure that we commit, and you always have my line, available if you have any questions. As long as you commit to the plan, I will be here to help you out with any questions along the way. Okay?
Thank you. Yes.
As we wrap up our discussion, I want to invite you guys to check out our other contents. Until then, I see you next time. À bientôt.
Hey, Romain. I've had a really busy year. Spent the whole summer last year working in California. I was able to get a job pretty quick, made some money, paid down some debts. I used my tax return to pay off my credit cards. That's done. I set up my retirement account with a Roth IRA. So I got almost $700 in it now. So, you know, a little every month. Now I don't have to work until I die, which is a good feeling. When I got back to Florida, I was not able to secure a home equity line of credit. So I just watched a bunch of YouTube videos and remodeled that spare bedroom myself. And I finally finished that a few weeks ago. So one of my coworkers is going to be moving in the next month or so. I got a couple $1,000s in an emergency savings account, high yield, of course. Which is lucky because my car broke down unexpectedly a few days ago and I had to tap into it. So I'm really glad it was there. Didn't have to, you know, beg for money and borrow from family and all of that. Currently I am en route. I'm in Arizona right now, back to California to work again. And I'm excited to see what this next year is going to hold.